What's going on, everybody? I am Jeremy. You guys are watching Morphles Morse. Tonight, we have Mark from 403 Fauna joining us. It's going to be a great show. Sometime throughout this show, I have some big news as to some upcoming guests. So make sure you guys stay in the lobby here and in the chat. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. And I would love to see some of the people's reactions here when I tell everybody who some of these people are that's coming on. So let's bring Mark in and welcome him. Mark, thanks for tuning in with us today, brother.
Thanks for having me.
So far, it looks like we have Rob in the chat. So Rob, thanks for tuning in.
What's up,
we
Rob?
have Jeremy and Holly from Snakes for the Memories tuning in.
Guys,
I don't know if Holly's still out on business or if she's back, because I know she posted a thing on Instagram here today. So she might actually be back. So it might be both of them. And we have Roger that 19, which I think that's a new face. There's Roger. Thanks for tuning in. Do you know who that is?
I probably know. I do have a student named Roger. So what's up, Roger?
Okay. I was gonna say that might be them. And Phil's in. So Phil, what's up, brother?
Thank you so much, Phil.
So
we got a guest here. So.
I was gonna say I see a kitty cat. My daughter would love that. She's obsessed with cats. Angel says hello. Angel, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Bosa, thank you for tuning in, brother. We have Blue Ridge Pythons with us. Everybody's tuning in tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button because it helps the videos get out in the algorithm and all that fun, fancy stuff. So let's get into it, Mark, because I am super stoked about this. And tell us about yourself a little bit.
Well, I'm a teacher. I teach high school chemistry and biology. In fact, I could see some of my students in the chat here. Just a message to my students. Remember to take a screenshot of everything, your likes, your subscribes, and your comments. So to get that extra credit.
That is such a cool thing that you did there. I appreciate that too. But it's neat that you get your students involved like that.
Practically half my YouTube subs are my students. So
well, if they're subbing to your content, though, that says something about you as a person and a teacher. Because not many students would want to be associated with their teachers outside of school.
I had a YouTube long time ago, and I used to post various different content. I used to break dance. I had a breakdance club at school, so I had a lot of breakdance videos and some turtle videos. It was just a mashup of stuff. And once the pandemic hit and we were doing online teaching, I decided to make this new YouTube, 403 Fauna. And 403, of course, is my classroom, and Fauna is defined as animals in a certain area. So the animals in the classroom, whether it's students or animals. And so I made this new YouTube, and originally it was for my pig-nosed turtle, Porkins, the pig-nosed turtle. And
which I love I have to say, your logo, emblem, whatever you want to consider it, it speaks to me, dude, just with the Star Wars-ness of
it. A lot of people don't know who Porkins is, but he was one of the first guys killed on the Death Star run.
He was, yeah.
So actually one of my students made that logo for me, so I'm really happy with that. But I was doing videos for my students during the online learning, just science videos and my pig-nosed turtle. And of course, during that pandemic, a lot of people were getting into the ball pythons. And of course, I was one of them. Previously, I did have a collection of ball pythons from around 2008 to 2014.
Okay.
And I got out, but, got back in 2020, started up this channel, and I've just moved mainly to ball python content, although I do have a few different videos on my channel as well.
So you just posted, I thought, I saw something with your... it was on your last what's in your rack. You had on there, you showed some tortoise, one of your tortoises eating instead of I think you said your snake neck turtle. You were
the pig-nosed turtle.
Okay, okay. So I think that's cool. You have multiple species of animals going on, which we'll get into that later on in the show here too. Let's see, we got a couple more people popping in. I don't know if I said hi to Angel, but Angel's in here. Vizcara. I probably butchered that. I apologize. Don't hate. We have Elena, Esmeralda. So now that there is obvious that is one of your students right there. The hi, Mr. Jensen.
What's up, Elena? Thanks for joining us.
Old Devil, what is up?
And you got some spam.
Yeah, I think that is a block. How do we block that? There. Put them in timeout. All right, we've got Lady Tiz. Thank you for tuning in. I think I said hi to Bosa already. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I did, I think. Pretty sure. If not, what's up, Bosa? Thanks for tuning in again. We already said we got Phil. Yeah, I think that keeps us up to par here. So let's see. We've got, let me say ahead of time, if anyone has questions for Mark or myself, put them in the comments. Hopefully, either I catch them or Mark will catch them, and we'll answer them as we get to them. So let's see here. What incomplete dominant genes are you working with, Mark? Because I know you've got a lot of stuff. I know you picked up some really awesome recessive stuff, which we'll get into, but
I really like the dark morphs. So I've got Cine, Black Pastel, GHI, Leopard. I got Static, which is the same as Acid and Confusion. And I just got a Blackhead, so I'm excited about that. But, I've also got Banana and Pastels and all the other different morphs. So
now, are you going to play? Because I've always been a fan of cinnamon in with the banana. Are you going to be doing any Cine banana combos? Or are you going a different direction with your banana stuff?
I do have a Banana Black Pastel BPI Xanthic. So it's a beautiful animal. So the dark morphs into the banana is a really good combination. So yeah, definitely.
Okay. I always like the oranges that it brings out. I always thought that, I don't know, if cinnamon bananas always seem like they had such a vibrant orange to them. Mm-hmm. It kind of, being partially colorblind, when I can actually see vibrant colors, it really speaks to me.
Right.
But let's see here. Phil says hi to everybody. Sorry if anybody hears some banging or crashing. We have friends over and they have kids as well. So I promise that there's no earthquake going on here or anything. It's just children. All right. And I'm also just kind of completely off my game tonight. I'm not going to lie.
No worries.
It's been I'll be honest. I got a call Friday saying, hey, we need you to come back into work on Monday, which no big deal. I enjoy my layoff time though, because I do construction. So winter's always my time to I want to say decompress, I guess. And they said, hey, we need you to come. I said, okay, fine, whatever. And then I look at where I'm going and it's all but Philadelphia area. So that's almost 2-hour drive one way. And it's just really, did you guys really, really need me that bad?
Yeah, we've got a 4-day weekend, so I'm just enjoying it.
Oh, lucky. We've got Angie and Jeff tuning in from Celtic Falls. What is up? Thank you for tuning in. All right. Phil's got a question here. At least I'm going to take that as a question for both of us. So let's take this one. I know you both want to breed rats. What are your fears and what is stopping it? Space, circumstances, or just knowledge? I'll let you go ahead first on that one, Mark, because that's a good question.
Okay, so I started off breeding rats. And, as your collection grows, the amount of rats you need grows as well. And I had them in my garage. I have a converted garage, which I use as a space, but it really doesn't have a door to it. So the smell was getting into the house too. So I finally decided to put them outside. I do have a pop-up shed, so it doesn't really provide super good protection, but I do live in San Diego where it's pretty mild in the winter. So it's been working out fine, but I didn't want to get overwhelmed with it. So I found a good medium between purchasing frozen rats and breeding rats too.
Okay. I know, like for me, I had the shed to do it. We had to put it in a sand mound at our place, so the shed had to get moved, and the whole backyard is just not what it once was. But now that everything's kind of settled down, I mean, I plan this spring. I'm actually going to get a hold of Phil, and he's going to hopefully help me out. But hopefully, we can get my shed set up to be functional for rats, and hopefully get it done this year. Because, like you said, as with the snakes accumulate and the food bill starts racking up, and if I can make the food that I need for my animals plus a little bit more on top of it and supply like my buddy Mike with the boas, I'm looking at that as a plus on two ends because it's saving me money. I'll be making a little bit of money. And then on top of it, I'll know exactly what's going into my animals too. So I think that's even better. It's just a matter of finding the time to do it all, finding out, getting in touch with Phil, getting him over here to show me exactly what needs to be done and what I need to do. I guess that's probably basically really the only holdup for me. I mean, it's an eventual. It's an eventual. I'll put it that way, Phil.
Phil, congrats on your solar panels and your new sink.
Yes.
I hope you have pictures of everything when it's all done. It's going to be awesome.
I'm still that when I saw it with the solar panels thing, and then like the next day he's like, "Oh, I got it all hooked up all right." I'm like, "What? You just got that?" So that's just impressive too. I mean, and then having it all working off of itself, completely awesome, Phil.
And you got all that for free, right? Someone was just throwing it away, and
I think he did. Yeah, I think it was maybe
at least the solar
a relative. I think he had said it was a relative, possibly. I might be wrong. Sandra Mitchell says, "Hi, everyone." Sandra, you're a new face, so I'm gonna maybe guess that you're from one of Mark's students. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm not sure about
that. If not, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Jesse from Musical Pythons. What is up, brother? Jesse was our guest on the last live. And just so everybody knows, no one missed a live last week. I know Angie and Jeff sent me a text on Sunday going, "You don't have a live today, do you? Because we don't see it." It's like, no, I was not going to compete with the Super Bowl. I actually, believe it or not, everybody knows that I am not a big sports person. I actually sat down at a Super Bowl party and watched the Super Bowl. So I was kind of proud of myself. I had no idea really what the heck was going on. I don't even know who won, in all honesty. I didn't stay to the end, but nonetheless, I was proud of myself. I actually sat there and watched this sports game and enjoyed myself.
That was a good move. I actually took your advice, and I didn't publish a video last week because of the Super Bowl. But I actually went to the San Diego Zoo, and I've got a lot of footage. I do want to upload that at some point this week, though.
See, now that would be neat. Going to like, I assume you probably got some really neat reptile content there too, because I bet you they have a lot of neat stuff. See, that's cool. Okay, Sandra says, no, she's not a student. Well, thank you, Sandra, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Phil says, use the deep cell battery. Okay, must have. Panels were in the dumpster from a family member. Oh, okay. So you got it. It was from a family member, but that's cool. Hey, if you can make use of someone else's, like you always say, one person's junk is another man's treasure.
Yep.
I firmly believe in that. All right, we have 14 people in the live. I'm going to go over a couple things here real quick before we get on to the next topic. As far as guests coming up for lives, for the next live on February 27th, we have Kai from Lucas Landon Royals tuning in or going to be joining us. Really excited on that one. On March 6th, we have Adam from Proper Royals coming on. On the 13th of March, we have Kelsey from Kelsey's Constrictors. She's a newer channel, but I really like her content, and I wanted to get her on, so she's going to be a guest here. Now this is where I'm going to cause a hiccup with everybody that's going to get into this whole me doing everything on Sundays. I had to make my schedule a little bit flexible on this one, but on March 19th, it's the Saturday before I would normally have my live. I have Sal from Gomez Pythons coming on. And I don't know if anybody follows Sal, but Sal, like, I just had this feeling I would really connect with him just from how he is on his videos. So I got in touch with him, and I've been talking to him for a little bit. And he's almost like a guy that I would legit see myself going out to the bar, sitting down, and just spending hours just talking about random stuff. Him and I have a lot in common. Excuse me. And I wanted to get him on because he's working some really neat projects. He's really heavy into the candy stuff. And then on March 27th, going back onto the Sundays again, we have Jeff and Angie from Celtic Balls coming on. So excited for that one. Now, in April, I didn't throw out the dates for these yet, but in April, we have Gershon coming on from GP Snakes. We have Riley Jimson. Hopefully I didn't screw that up. Jimison from Riley's Reptiles. He's big into like the carpet pythons and stuff. I thought that'd be a really neat thing to get into the challenge. Something a little bit different than ball pythons, spice things up a little bit. And then I'm in contact with John Dog from JD Constriction. And I don't know if anybody knows anything about John, but he is probably, in my opinion, the biggest TSK Exantic breeder out there. And he's just got some crazy stuff. I'm waiting on him to get back to me with a date that works for him. So I'm hoping it is in April still for when we go with that one. And then I also have Ryan from Smitty's Serpents going to be coming on. I'm waiting to give him dates till after John picks his dates. And the big news, the even bigger news than John Dog, is that May 1st, I have the one and only Billy from Mutation Creation coming on. So that is going to be an awesome show, I think. And yeah. I really plan to hopefully, get some really neat, amazing, great info out of Billy for everybody. So when I talked because I'm on Billy's Patreon, and I thought, I was like, it's a long shot. To me, I'm still a nobody in this, a small channel. I thought it's worth a shot maybe. And I sent him a text. He goes, yeah, sure. He goes, what date works? And I sent him some dates. He goes, how about May 1st? I was like, okay, we're good. So I thought I was gonna say about this last live, and I told two people who, because something like that, I was amped up. I was on like this huge high. So I told Jeremy and Holly from Snakes for the Memories and my buddy Mike. I called him up, I think right away. I said, dude, you're not going to believe this. So, but I had to get, the excitement was just too much. I still have a hard time fathoming that Billy is obviously like giving me the light of day to come on my live. It's neat thought. So that is my lineup here for the near future. I know it's a long list, but we got some awesome people coming on, and it makes me feel good that the lives are apparent or people are enjoying them. So it just makes me happy.
I was going to say that there's been a huge gap since Billy and Mutation Creation have stopped doing their Monday lives, and hopefully it's coming back. But people like you and Adam and Snakes for the Memories, it's given a lot of other people an opportunity to get out there.
It has. And I do believe, forget the exact date Billy said he is coming back doing his lives. I think it's going to be soon. Jeremy and Holly probably know better than me. They're in contact with Billy a little bit more than what I am. But I do know it is coming soon. I just don't know the exact date, but he is going to be coming back because that's why Jeremy and Holly keep their lives times where they do. So that way they can do their live and still catch Billy's. So that way they don't interfere with it.
But yeah, amazing lineup, like Celtic Ball said. So thanks for having me. It's like crazy that I'm a part of that lineup. So
hey, Mark, in all honesty, you are one dude where I could also see myself. We go out, get a drink, cup of coffee, whatever, and I could just see us sitting down and just talking snakes and reptiles and anything and everything under the sun. You're one of those guys that just I don't know, you just come across as very personable and that you get along with anybody. I
If I could get along with teenagers, yeah. But
was
I
gonna
want
say, yeah, if you can deal with teenagers,
to
you are magic, man. I tell you what.
the community has been amazing, and with making YouTube videos and having comments and being on live chats, and I legit feel like I have gained some friends here, even though
Yeah,
we're talking through this. So it's been really awesome.
I know I've gained what I consider a whole bunch of friends and even family. I mean, with how some everybody has treated me, and it's just I should probably talk to more people on here than I do my own family. I'm not gonna lie, but it's I just have so much in common with everybody here, and the rest of my family really isn't big into reptiles or anything like that. So
Yeah.
you know it's something I'm passionate about. So I get along with all the everybody here so well.
Yep.
Lady Tiz has a thing here. Let's see here. My first question was too long. Does Mark think the reptile basics racks are efficient for, I'm going to say,
Him.
for heat, maybe?
Well, these ones are a locally made rack from SoCal Scales. They're very similar to the Reptile Basics. They are the ABS plastic, I believe. And
Okay.
for me, they are really good. Um, again, I live in San Diego, so the weather, I don't even heat my room here or anything. And the humidity is perfect in there with just a bowl of water. So these particular racks are really good for me. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind an ARS or a Freedom Breeder as well.
Well, for you, Freedom Breeder would be easy for you to get. I mean, that the shipping
Yeah.
would not, you could probably pick that up personally, couldn't you?
Pick it up at a show, local show here. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I say because ARS, I mean, you'd have to get that shipped in. I know I forget what state they're out of, but for me, it's like 300. My last order was like 350 bucks, $380, I think, shipped. So, I mean, to me, I mean, unless you are really, I mean, I love my ARS, don't get me wrong. But if you can get Freedom Breeder stuff and you don't have to pay the shipping, I think that'd be a done deal for you, brother.
Yeah. I think I'm done with the snake purchasing for a while, and I'm going to start with the hardware, the infrastructure, get some new racks and stuff like that.
Well, you've been buying some heat, man. You have been buying some crazy stuff, and we are going to show some of that stuff off here later. Phil just threw out a question here. Breeding tactics question. What are both of your thoughts on starting a female into the rotation? Do you follow the 1,500 gram paradigm, or do you start them early? What have you found works for you? You want to take that one first, Mark? That's a
Sure.
good question, Phil.
Great question. So during my first go round 10, 12 years ago, the rule of thumb was 1,200 grams. And I bred at 1,200 grams back then. I started my girls on 1,200 grams this year, and they've continued to eat and build. So I know Miguel, he has some going like at 1,000 grams, depending on his ultrasounds and stuff. So I don't have an ultrasound here, but I do try to keep a really close eye and just watch the signs. And I had some girls that were at 1,200 that I bred and they didn't go. So I decided just to leave them for next season. So I'll give them a shot. And if they go, they go. I'll continue to build and gain weight.
So for me, my first season, I was trying to stick to that 1,500 grams just because of everybody saying about how much it takes out of them. And I had my killer bee female. She was 3 years old last year. And I mean, she's not a big girl. I mean, she's just very slow at growing, but she was doing the cooling thing. Like she was doing all the signs, that she should be doing at her age, for wanting to breed. So I thought she's eating great. She was right about like 1,400 grams, I'm going to say, right in that neighborhood anyway. So I thought she's eating great. I'm going to throw the male to her till she's ready to go. She'll be 1,500 plus, no problem. And we'll be golden. And then she shut off right after I put the male in with her. She stopped eating, but gave me a nice 4-egg clutch. I mean, they were huge eggs too. For as big as she is, they were huge eggs. They're probably actually the biggest eggs I had this whole season. So I try to stick with that like 1500 gram mark. Like, because it did take a lot out of her when after she laid. I mean, you could tell she was kind of zonked, but she went back on food faster than all the other snakes. Granted, they all went back on food basically right away. Two of the girls had to start off on mice, but she started off right back on small rats because I normally feed medium, but I thought I'll give her a small just to ease her in. And she took that and she's been eating like a pig ever since. So it's almost like it jump started her to being an aggressive feeder like she used to be.
Yeah.
And that was a good question, Mark. Blue Ridge says the problem with getting new racks is when you have empty tubs to fill and you buy more seed. That is true, yes. You see that empty space sitting there thinking, I should do something with that. I could have that problem every time I look down here. It's too much empty space, and then I keep telling myself, nope, don't do it, don't do it.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. Let's see. All right, John from Inquiline came in. What's up, John? Hopefully, I bet you he probably missed the big news. John, you'll have to wait till a little bit later. I'll go through the big news unless someone wants to update him quick. Well, I can do it quick. John, May 1st, Billy from Mutation Creation will be on the show. And hopefully in April, we'll have John Dog from JD Constriction joining us as well. And then I went through the whole list. I'm not going to bore everybody with me reading slowly like a person that doesn't know how to read. But we have Kai, Adam, Kelsey from Kelsey's Constrictors, Sal from Gomez Pythons, Jeff and Angie. We have Gershon and Riley Jimson on deck to be coming onto the show as well. And Stephen and Courtney just came in. Stephen, Courtney, what is up? We have Diego from Petsotics. My mind has really been getting put to work today with remembering all these names. We have Tag Reptiles. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate all the support, and I hope you guys enjoy the show today. Don't forget to hit that like button, everybody. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well because all the support's appreciated. So let's get back more in with you, Mark. Let's see, where did we let off at? All right. What recessive projects are you working with?
Before I get to that, I saw a question that you missed. It was, I believe, from Bosa Balls. And it was about incubation.
Here we go. This one?
Yeah. So I do have an incubator. I have just a cooler, and it works really well. It's heated with heat cable, has a really cheap thermostat on it. I'm going to upgrade that thermostat before my next clutch. But I do have a clutch baking right now, and it worked perfectly well for my clutch last year. So
like a cooler, like do you mean like a wine cooler or like a cooler?
The cooler that you put beer in and stuff and take to the beach.
Okay. See, I've heard of people doing that before, but it's one of the more, I guess I don't want to say uncommon, but it is more of an uncommon method. I think actually the person I saw doing it was Garrett from Reach Out Reptiles.
Yeah, the fact that it's insulated to keep things cool, it works perfectly as an incubator.
Yeah, it's an ingenious idea, and it's a cheap way of doing it too, and it works. So
the only limiting factor is the size of it, and you can only fit a handful of clutches in there.
Well, that is true. I guess that would be a slight Debbie Downer aspect to it, but hey, you can only go out and buy more coolers.
Yeah. What's up, Gershon? Okay, let's get back to the recessive question.
Yeah, back to the recessive. Gershon, what's up, buddy?
So when I first got back into this, my goal was, hey, I'm going to get some pied girls. I'm going to get some clown girls. And I got those. And I wanted to work double recessive projects. So I went with Axanthic, the VPI line, with my males. And, as time goes on and you see more projects being put out, you fall in love with other things. And Desert Ghosts, of course, blew my mind. So I'm big into Desert Ghosts right now, too. Hypo, I got a lot of hypo. Stephen and Courtney want me to get a sunset, so I've been looking at het sunsets. They're too expensive personally to buy.
I had to say, I would like Sunset was one gene where it's just kind of like but after seeing Steven show that one sunset, I think it's a leopard that they have, a sunset leopard off. Like, I don't know. I'm starting to warm up to the sunset stuff. And I'm starting to see, like, I had this vision of like a sunset, desert ghost. And I just had this vision of what it would look like. And I don't know. I'm on the fence of getting into that now, too, which is probably a bad idea.
It's tough to get too many recesses because, recessive projects take a lot of time and space and money. Honestly, I've got to pare some of it down. And I've mentioned in some of my videos that I'm kind of not as love with pieds as much as I used to be. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things go.
Pieds is one of those, there's always going to be that demand for them. Yeah. Because everybody loves a pied to some extent. Like, I love the low white pieds, but I don't love pieds enough to want to work with them. Like, it's just something that's not my passion. Like, Exantic, Desert Ghost, Clown, I love. But, like, if I had to pick one, it would have to be the Exantic stuff. I mean, for whatever reason, Exantic is just my drive in this whole thing.
I was watching another live from, I forget exactly who, but, the MJ Exantic pieds are like the best Exantic pieds, the lightning pieds. And on that live, they mentioned that the TSK was compatible with MJ or even the same.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember whose live that was.
So that's something new to me because I didn't know that. Yeah, I thought every line of Exantic it had to be its own thing. Which was another thing I was going to ask you: is what drew you to VPI? Is it just that's more what's common where you're at, or was there something else backing that up?
Yeah, I was. I looked at all the lines, and I know VPI has worked with the most. And your guest JD Constriction works with TSK, and he always has amazing displays. And honestly, all the lines are really good. It's just a matter of buying the right one for you, because the quality can differ amongst the line. Like I've seen some really bad VPIs, and I've seen some really good. So I tried to pick the best that I could, and I think I got it.
So that's kind of, I've said that before too. Like, there's good and bad on all of them. It's if you get that really good example and then you just keep breeding for that best example, eventually you'll end up with the best as long as you do that selective breeding, I think.
Right. Yep.
All right, let's see here. Okay. All right. So you're working with, let's go over what the recessives you're working with again.
Pied, Clown, Desert Ghost,
and Desert Ghost. So and Exantic. Okay. Now, are you planning on eventually combining all four of those? Are you gonna where are you taking your different projects at?
Yeah, I want to go the double, triple, quadruple het route. I forgot to mention G-Stripe. I'm big into G-Stripe. Okay. I know the popularity of G-Stripe has been going crazy. And Miguel just had a video showing off his most expensive snake he ever purchased. And just the fact that G-Stripe and most expensive were in the same line together. Just G-Stripes were throwaways just a few years ago. And now they're back to being one of the hotter morphs because of what they do with Clown.
I was going to say it's on where you find that one little groove. Once you find that one perfect example, it'll just basically spark a fire, I think. And I don't know if I've actually seen a G-Stripe Clown. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I think I need to look around on Morph Market a little bit more. But see, that's where I get into trouble. That's why I stay away from it.
But ultimately, my goal would be to make a G-Stripe Clown, Exantic, Desert Ghost. So
that would be nice.
I mean, that would be nice. Probably make it next year, but
at least you'll know what you're looking at then. Yeah. That's how I look at it. I know Justin I think I saw some post people saying, "Oh, of course Justin hit it." Well, Justin's been at this for how long, and he's put in the work. He kind of deserves it. I mean, you gotta give credits due where credits due. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're putting in the work, you deserve to reap the rewards of it. And plus, now everybody knows, hey, that's a really awesome looking snake. We can shoot. We should shoot for that. That's how I look at it.
Justin pretty much sets the bar, and everybody follows.
The funny thing with that, sorry, I'm fighting a cold, so if I get sounding goofy or anything, I do apologize. Funny thing with that is, before I bought my Desert Ghost, Justin hasn't. Desert Ghost was just kind of, it was there. No one really, I don't want to say didn't care about it, but there wasn't the big hype. And I'm gonna say maybe a month after I, said about it, or after I got it, Justin, started talking about Desert Ghost. And then that's when I saw the prices on DG just kind of go up and up and up and say, hey, I bought mine at the right time. I was thinking ahead on something for once.
Yeah, I remember when I got into it in 2020 on Morph Market, I saved a Desert Ghost female that was, at the time, I think $500.
Okay.
And now you can't get one you can't even get a Desert Ghost female pretty much. But
oh, yeah. I mean, I think my male was, I want to say like 250, something like that, I think.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he's a single gene, but I'm sure a single gene male DG isn't 250 anymore.
Right.
All right, so let's see here. Okay. What is your favorite recessive, whether you have it or don't have it?
It's got to be Desert Ghost. And if I've been buying a lot of Desert Ghosts lately, so just getting caught up with things. I want to share one with you if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, bring it out, dude. Bring it out. Like I said, we want to see snakes.
Okay, so this one's the big one here. I think the last time I was on Adam's Live with Leviathan Snakes, I mentioned that I was going to spend some major cash on a snake, and this was that snake. And it is a Super Enchi Pastel Desert Ghost Het Hypo.
And which that thing is that's just nuts. I love the head stamp.
Yeah. So funny thing about this one is when I initially purchased it, I made a mistake. I thought it was a girl. I was like, yes, I'm going to get this girl. And then after I had sent the money already, I looked at the ad again. It's like male. And it's like, oh, shoot. Should I message it back? And, he had another female available. And I was thinking of, should I just message him and go for that other one? But I was thinking how bad my season was going because of my lack of males. And I thought, you know what? I got to have this guy in my collection. He'll make a great addition. And he's Het Hypo, so I've got a lot of hypos in my collection. And
see, he's truly a powerhouse. So, I mean, I think you made a good call by staying on board with getting him. Because you figure you can throw him to multiple girls.
Yep.
And I don't think you're going to be disappointed at all.
Yeah,
and the quality is definitely there.
Yeah, he's from Fireball. So, yeah, I love this guy. And he is going to go to everything pretty much.
See, that's one thing I wish that when I bought my DG, I wish I would have gotten some other genes thrown in the mix. Because now, like with my Xanthic pairing I'm doing, DG to Xanthic, I'm just going to get a whole bunch of normals. But, I mean, genetically, to me, they're going to be powerhouses because they're going to be 100% het for Xanthic and DG. But just looking at them, you're going to be, oh, that's just a normal. It's going to be a very not exciting clutch cutting. I'll put it that way.
I tell you what, there is something about having just the recessive without any codoms in it. Look at Justin's VPI Desert Ghost Clown. That thing's crazy. And
oh, yeah.
I know he's going to add more to it, but just having something that's nice and clean like that, and you know exactly what it is, there's something for that.
No, I agree with you on that one. Let's see who we got some people jumping in here, I think. We have Melinda from Cuddle Time Critters jumped in. Thank you, Melinda. Yeah, I did say Stephen and Courtney, Gershon, Con Worker. He just hopped in, I do believe. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it. You have no idea how much I appreciate all the support.
Love seeing all those familiar names.
What's that?
I love seeing all those familiar names in the chat.
I do too. Everybody in here is basically, like I said, I consider like family. I mean, they're always here. They're so positive, and they're just willing to help you out and everything. It's a great group we have. All right, let's see here. So, where was I? Oh yeah, favorite recessive.
So, Desert Ghost, of course, but I'm gonna throw in Genetic Stripe in there too. And even though let's show some Genetic Stripes.
Let's do it, dude. Let's do it. Let's see these.
Okay, so I got a pair of Genetic Stripes from DCat Inc. And he was actually featured on one of Justin's videos recently. In fact, when I got these two, he was at the FedEx facility with Unbelievables, Todd Joel from Unbelievables. And they were putting up another package, and they were like really being careful with that package. And I think that was the package that was going out to Justin. But this right here is a banana genetic stripe. And it's
that's pretty.
100% het VPI axanthic. Now, it was also sold as pastel, but I'm not too sure about that. But pastel banana genetic stripe het VPI axanthic. And my kitty cat is sniffing at it, so.
I love your cat, dude. He just wants to be. He just wants to be part of the show too. He's like, come on, show me some love.
So G stripes, I really love a clean G stripe. This one's broken up a little bit, but Clown's going into it, and Clown really disrupts that G stripe. So I think it'll work really well with that. So this is the girl of the pair, and I wanted to share with you the boy who has VPI axanthic. So remember how that one looks. And let's show you the brother.
Now, the brother is a visual axanthic, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Because my next question was going to be, what does the axanthic do in the banana? Because that's one thing I've heard, I've seen pictures of it, but I've never, I don't think my eyes really picked up what the axanthic was really doing in it. So hopefully I can see it.
Okay, so this is the exact same genes, but with axanthic.
Okay, so now that there does show it really clear that it's taken out the yellow. Okay.
Yeah. Just like a really creamy color to it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive it has pastel in it. And
that's beautiful, dude.
I'm not going to breed them together. One will probably go to Clown, one will go to Desert Ghost, because I do want to get those triple hets going.
Yeah.
So
that's beautiful though, because I can actually see what the axanthic's done in that. Because I was seeing somebody was posted up a picture on Facebook saying about they had a banana that was VPI axanthic, and I'm there looking at it, and it's like I'm seeing a normal banana color, and so that kind of had me. It's like, are my eyes seeing what's really going on properly or what? But that does look like the axanthics there for sure. That's beautiful, Mark.
Thank you. Okay, cat dropped my box lid, so excuse me for a minute.
No, you're good. Phil says he has a bunch of genetic stripe hets being made this season.
Yeah, G stripes. Nice future with them. And you know what? I don't know if you saw this, but the acid genetic stripe is crazy too.
And I have not seen that, but acid is on my radar to throw into the collection.
I do have static, which is the same as acid. And
okay.
So I'm planning on taking that to genetic stripe too.
And what you had said one of the other genes that's the same thing. It's static, acid, and confusion.
Fusion. Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm still trying to figure out why do we have so many different names for the same stinking gene. I'm still trying to figure that one out. I'm not gonna lie. And so Celtic got acid in their collection. And John, I already got a hold of Angie and Jeff and told them that if they produce a pastel acid male, that I would like to have dibs on it.
Could you give me a couple minutes so I could grab that static?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go get it.
Okay, so give me a minute.
Yep. No, you're good, brother. Cystic bandana reduces freckles. Okay. Acid is amazing. All right. Well, while John's gone, I'm going to go over the list of upcoming stuff again, since we have 20 people in the chat now. On the 27th of February, we have Kai from Lucas Landon Royals coming on. So excited about that. I'm excited over all these guests, by the way. I'm just happy. Everybody that's in the chat, I'm glad you guys take the time out to, spend with us and talk and hang out and everything. And everybody that's on this list, I'm super appreciative of just giving me an hour or two of their time to come on as guests. So it just means a lot. On March 6th, I have Adam from Proper Royals coming on. On March 13th, I have Kelsey from Kelsey's Constrictors coming on. And then we kind of changed the pace up a little bit. And instead of having a show on the 20th of March, we have a show on the 19th of March where I have Sal from Gomez Pythons coming on. He said Saturdays worked best for him, so I kind of altered the schedule a little bit there. And then on March 27th, we have Angie and Jeff from Celtic Balls. And then in April, I didn't mark down the dates on my little cheat sheet here, but in April, as a heads up, we have Gershon from GP Snakes coming on, which I think Gershon's probably still in the chat. We have Riley Jimson from Riley's Reptiles. He's a carpet python guy, so I was excited to get him on. Kind of spice the content up a little bit. And then as far as people that have not picked a date yet but are coming on, hopefully this individual comes on for April as well. I have John Dog from JD Constriction, which is, in my opinion, probably one of the biggest TSK Exantic breeders in the country. He's just got amazing stuff. And since I love Exantic so much, I figured I was going to take a gamble and get a hold of him and just cross my fingers and hope that he said yes, and he did. So he's just got to pick a date. And we also have Ryan from Smitty Serpents. Once John picks his date, I'm letting Ryan pick his date for when he comes on. And then the big news is that Billy from Mutation Creation will be on the show May 1st. So that there is just mind-blowing to me that Billy's giving me the light of day to come on this show and hang out with us all. And it's just going to be – that show is going to be crazy. I'm going to come up with a whole new set of questions because we're going to pick Billy's brain pretty good. Or at least I'm going to try to pick his brain and get everybody here, hopefully a whole bunch of awesome information. And also we'll take questions for Billy from the audience as usual. But Mark, show us what you got there, brother.
Okay. Well, my cat's right here, and the way this girl eats, I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to eat my cat. This right here is pastel static, and you can see how crazy the pattern is. And
see that does that. I do see on how it's basically the same thing, yeah.
And I really love what pastel does with it. It gives it this bronze color. Kind of hard to see on here, but
no, I think it's. I mean, I'm seeing a bronzy color at least.
And it really does all this granity pattern on it too. So it just intensifies that.
Now, how are the blacks on it? Because on the screen, I mean, the blacks look very black.
Yeah, they're super black.
Okay.
And the contrast on it, it is definitely in the dark morph category.
Okay.
So that's a pastel static.
That is beautiful looking, dude. I think your cat loves it. I think your cat loves snakes as much as you do.
Honestly, when I was searching for this, I did search up acid. I searched up confusion, and I just decided on which one looked the best to me, and it just so happened to be static. And
okay.
That was it.
Let's say I know you say that they're the same, but it's this few examples the few acids I looked at. It looked like acids had some really crazy belly pattern. Now, and your static looks like it kind of had a slightly cleaner belly.
Yeah, the pastel cleans the belly out.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I don't think the ones I was looking at had pastel in them. So okay, that makes sense. Phil, thank you. That is a great looking gene. You are correct. Gershon, thank you for. Hey, you're part of the lineup, brother. So it is a great lineup. Okay, add another morph. we're adding on to people's wish lists.
I got Hurricane right here, Rob. You want to see Hurricane?
Let's see, pull it out once. Let's see Hurricane once.
It's right behind me.
And Chip from Regis Fear of Pythons, what is up, brother? Thanks for tuning in with us.
Here goes Hurricane. So another crazy pattern snake, dark, a lot of contrast to it. There's a classic Hurricane pattern right there.
Let's see, Hurricane does have a really neat pattern. I like the hooking that it does.
Yeah. This was from Gray's Reptiles. And he's local to me, so I'm glad to support the local breeders. And
no, I'm going to take a guess. You're probably going to throw clown into that. Because aren't Hurricane clowns a big thing right now, too?
Yeah, that's the smart thing to do, but I really want to keep that Hurricane pattern. So
okay,
I'm just going to add either Ultramel or Desert Ghost and go for the Hayabusa, which the Hayabusa really crazes out the pattern. So I want to keep the integrity of that Hurricane pattern and just
okay. Hey, I can't blame you. I mean, seeing Ultra, I mean, everybody loves Ultramel. I'm still on the fence about Ultramel, but I could see all that looking neat with Ultramel. Excuse me. Jeff and Angie say, isn't Hurricane and Blitz the same?
I believe so. Yeah, okay. Hurricane, Blitz, Trick, I believe they're all the same. Dr. Hannah's going to prove them all the same pretty soon, hopefully. But yeah, and the thing about all of them is just picking out the right one, going for the one that has the pattern that you like. And check out Gray's Reptiles. He has some good ones.
All right, let's see here. All right, now here's where what other species do you keep?
Well, of course, I keep turtles. Turtles was my first love, my first reptile love. I remember as a kid just going to the library and heading right to the turtle section and reading all the turtle books. So I do have the pig-nosed turtle, snake-necked turtle, sulcata tortoise, and a spotted turtle. As far as other snakes, currently I only have ball pythons, but I tell you what, when my brother did get me that gift certificate, carpet pythons were on the list. Thanks to you too, there, but I love carpets as well.
I say carpets have always been like, I always wanted a carpet, and then I got Xena, and she kind of like, did I really make the right decision? Because she was a spicy little noodle there for a long time, and now she's definitely mellowed out a lot. And then I got Lagatha because I mean that yellow and black on the jungles is just out of this world. And then I think it's the bread lies that really get this awesome, like a brick red, like really vibrant red and orange tones to them. I mean, there's just some colors that you're not going to find in ball pythons that the carpet pythons hit smack on the nose. And plus, you get something that's still manageable, but you get a little bit more size to it. But I have those. My carpets don't like rats for some reason, so it's just kind of. I was hoping to use them as somewhat like garbage disposals, so when the ball pythons wouldn't eat one, I could, then in turn just go give it to one of the carpets. And the carpets, they don't like rats for some reason. So backfire on that one.
On Justin's latest video that showed Arlington, Corey Martin was there showing off her carpets, and she said, I forgot exactly which line of carpet it was, but she said that from the start they're puppy dog tame and they stay that way. Do you know which one she was referring to?
Oh, yeah, I saw that one. It's think I want to say the inlands. I think she
Inland.
said it was an inland one because it almost had, it was like a stony gray looking, right?
Yeah.
It almost looked exanthic. I mean, granted, they had to go through their color change, but yeah, I believe she said it was inlands,
Yeah. I think.
which I've heard that. I've heard that, um, like your bread lies, I think, are very mellow too. Which when I have Riley on here, since he does a lot of work with carpets and stuff, we'll definitely hit him up on what he thinks is the more mellow and tame out of the whole group. Um, I do have to say, I do think jungles are a little bit spicy to start off with, though. Because even on Facebook, every picture of someone that says that where they, go through, my snakes, bitey and nippy, there's always a picture of a jungle right there. It's just like, I think there's something to it. Bosa says Jeremy had me looking up carpet pythons. Yeah, they're addictive, man. They are. I mean, it's definitely got me thinking I need to expand my snake room already, just because once I start hatching them, I know it's gonna be like the ball pythons where I'm gonna be like, I would need to keep this one, I need to keep that one, and you have to keep them longer too, because you have to wait till they start to go through that change, so you know what you're getting rid of. So it's you're kind of with them a little bit longer than ball pythons, I think. All right, Phil says Dr. Hannah found 2 lines. I'm assuming that's. I guess we might have missed that conversation slightly.
That was Ultramel.
Okay, that's the okay. Oh, yeah, there. I just now saw it. Phil, yeah. See, Phil's another Australian python guy. He has. I'm drawing a blank now. Phil, you're gonna have to chime in with what you have. I have it on the tip of my tongue, but I'm forgetting what it is.
Blackheads, womas.
No, it's. Oh man, I am feeling bad because Phil and I have talked about these things. Spotted pythons. That's it. That's it. Thanks, Phil. Yeah, they're beautiful too. There's something about the Australian stuff. I think it's like it's a completely different color palette, and you just get some really beautiful stuff out of it. All right, let's go on to. Yeah, do you have any other? I mean, you don't have you have your cat obviously, but no other animals you have? Turtles, snakes, the cat.
I do have fish. I have
Okay.
A sea anemone with 2 clownfish.
Oh, that's cool. my daughter would love that. We actually had her at the local pet shop. They have a big saltwater section, and she loved the clownfish and the sea anemones and there was this really weird almost like a black rectangular fish, but he had like white squiggles and he had like an electric blue outline to him. He's really wacky looking. I actually really loved the way this thing looked.
Yeah, saltwater fish are crazy. They look good.
Oh, they are. The colors. Oh my gosh, the colors. So, how about a dream combo? Like your ultimate, whether you have the stuff to make it, what is one snake you either want, like at some point in your life, it is your dream to have or own as far as that combo?
Well, I already mentioned the G-Stripe, Clown, DG, VPI, but there's one that I could potentially hit this year, and that is the VPI Xanthic Puzzle. I got a head-to-head pairing right now, and that 1 in 16 chance, and hopefully I'm just crossing my fingers. That could kind of like put me on the map maybe, because I don't think that has been produced yet. But I'm looking forward to making at least a puzzle out of that.
Okay. See, that'll be neat. Let's see here. Now, Jeremy and Holly are hopping off. Take it easy, you guys. I'll catch you. I might not be on in the audience tomorrow for your live because I have to go so far away for work, and I probably won't get home till late, so I'll have to catch it on the replay. But thanks for tuning in, you guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And okay, Phil's still talking about the Ultramel stuff. All right. So let's see where we're at here. Okay, I think this is a really neat one. What's one project you want to get into within the next couple years?
I think Sunset, once you get that ball rolling and you start looking on Morph Market, it's like in the back of your mind and you want it. But again, I'll probably go the het route. And so that will take a few years, but I'll probably pick up a het female and just sit on it for a couple of years and decide down the line whether I want to go with the male Sunset or get a het combo of some sort. But
Well, you figure within a couple years, though, I mean, if you get the het female, grow her up, there you have at least probably 2-3 years. Just figure on average. And then by then, Sunset will probably drop a little bit at least. I mean, probably might not be much, but it's still probably going to drop a little bit. Plus, males are always cheaper. So you might be doing pretty good with getting a visual male. And then you can throw him to a whole bunch of other stuff then on top of it, too.
I think once they start coming out with those Desert Ghost Sunsets, with the Lavender Albino Sunsets, it's just going to really open the door on them because, yeah, you got to admit that some of the Sunsets do brown out pretty bad. But
some do, yeah.
Putting them in the right combo, I think, will really bring out that orange and red on it.
I agree. That's one thing, like a lot of the examples I saw of Sunset, they were browning out a little bit. And my buddy Mike, he was always he likes the Sunset project as well, even though he does the boas. But he was trying to I don't want to say talk me into it, but he's trying to perk my interest with the Sunset stuff. It's just like I don't know, man. It's like everything I saw, it looks like it browned out a decent amount. But then I got, like I said before, watching Steven and Courtney with their Sunset, and I mean that thing's just looking like it's on fire. It's like I don't know now. I mean, I think, like you said, you put the right combinations and everything to it, I think it's going to look better than ever. But there again, there's probably good and bad examples of it too, because probably a lot of the best examples that people are holding back, which makes sense. So you're seeing what everybody else doesn't want. Let's see here. Phil says, Stephen Courtney made a great movie in the game. Sunset is beautiful. It is. It's growing on me. It really is.
Watching their videos, they're really kind of in on the ground floor on Sunset, and other than the bigger breeders like Brad Bow and stuff like that, but they're going to be a name in the Sunset game. And
oh yeah,
definitely Leviathan. I'll be hitting you up someday on those.
Let's see. With everybody I've made contact wise in this, you start learning who has what, and it's like when I get to a certain point of wanting like a Sunset, I am going to go to, like you said, to Steven and Courtney, or for the acid stuff, I'm going to hit up Angie and Jeff. I'm going to support my family that supports me. And I think that's just the way it should go.
I feel like I need to find my place in it because I've just been buying a lot of recessives. I think as time goes on, I will find my niche, and who knows what it'll be.
Well, see, that's like when I was picking out my recessives, originally I told myself you're only going to get 2 recessive and that's it. You're going to work with 2 recessives and just build a good foundation. And needless to say, I came across, I know what it was. I'd gotten my leopard lesser spot nose, and it was supposed to be a female. And I thought, okay, because I wanted, the Batman's really caught my eye. It's like, I'm going to get this, and then I'll get a clown male to throw to it and, make the hats and then produce Batmans here in the long run. Well, my female ended up being a male. And then I already bought I bought a Bumblebee clown because I love Spider, and I figure it's the best of both worlds. I have my Spider, I have my clown, and needless to say, my leopard lesser spot nose is a male, and it just completely put me on the back burner for a little bit of time. So now I'm taking the longer trudge, and I have my Enchi clown growing up that I purchased this past year, and then I have my buddy Mike's Orange Dream possible fire clown, which I do think it's got fire. Have her growing up. So I'm getting back on track with it, but it's just a little bit slower of a start now. But now I have my Exantic het clown, or my het Exantic het clowns growing up. So I'm hoping that that'll also put me a little bit ahead as well. Hopefully may hit a double visual here when I pair them, and you know, I had this whole plan in my head. Hopefully, it just works out. I'm hoping. Oh, go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
I don't know if you caught in the chat, but Stephen and Courtney said they are picking up a breeder-sized Super Banana Sunset. Jeez.
Holy.
Man, I can't wait for the video on that one.
Super Banana Sunset. I would love to see what that even looks like. I don't even know what a banana sunset would look like, because banana's so overpowering.
Yeah.
When's
the video, guys?
I was gonna say, yeah. We need to see the video now. That is nuts. I'm curious to see what that even looks like.
I'm sure they'll post on Instagram as soon as they get it, hopefully.
Oh, I hope they do, because I want to see that. They also said Ultramel Sunset is the best sunset combo right now. So I'd be interested to even see what that. See, I need to spend more time on Morph Market, I think. I stay away from Morph Market because bad things happen.
I don't think you'll see that one on Morph Market. That's probably an Instagram one right there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A lot of that stuff does probably get snatched up real quick. It was like a lot of my stuff, even like, granted, I made what I consider low end stuff this past season, but a lot of my stuff never made it to Morph Market just because it sold through YouTube. Basically, people got a hold of me through YouTube, and the stuff I would post on Facebook, which was still YouTube content.
Yeah, I rewatched your video with musical ball pythons, and I saw that you sold everything out through YouTube, and that's really awesome. And I'm hoping that I've got some clutches coming this year. I don't have a Morph Market yet, but I do want to set one up, and hopefully I'll offer through YouTube first, and we'll see if anybody picks those up. But
and like, I think you'll be surprised how quickly this stuff does like move without you really even trying it. I mean, I thought I'd be sitting on babies, that I wasn't going to be needing to hold for a while, and it was not the case. I mean, they just kind of flew off the shelf. So it definitely moves a lot faster than what you think, Mark. And then plus the Morph Market, you can do that free trial thing where I think you're allowed 3 posts. Yeah. I think there's a dollar amount you can't exceed, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, heck, it's free. That's what I was doing there for a while. And then with partnering up with Mike, it's like, all right, I have to up my membership now.
Yeah.
He's just got his boas stuff. I mean, I wouldn't be able to post my ball pythons and post his boas at the same time. It would exceed the monetary limit, put it that way. All right, let's see here. Did we get any? I think we're still working with their. I don't think anybody news popped in here. I'm just scanning up through here. I always like trying to give my shout outs as need be. Did say hi to Chip. I think everyone we've already hit on saying the hellos. So we're doing good. We're still at 16 people, and I'm happy.
Thanks.
Don't forget, everybody, if you guys have any questions for Mark or myself, feel free to drop them down there, and we will answer them. And we're both looking. So Mark's already caught a few I missed. So thank goodness. Go ahead.
Before we get back to ball pythons, I'm looking at your shirt. How'd you like that Boba Fett ending?
Okay. All right. Spoiler alert for anybody. If you don't want to hear anything about the ending, just hit the muted or something, I like when he flew off, okay, when they're getting their, like, first of all, when they came jetpacking out of nowhere, I was like, yes, this is epic. Like, I actually was really nerdy. I sat there with a tub of popcorn. Became my Wednesday ritual. I'd sit there with a tub of popcorn and eat it while I watched the book. And when they came jetpacking over the building, I about threw my tub of popcorn just in excitement because it was just like they played him off throughout the whole thing as being not the character that I grew up thinking Boba Fett was. And Cad Bane even said, he's getting soft and, all that stuff. But that was like the one moment it's like, he still got it. And then they started getting their butt kicked, which, hey, it's going to happen. You're outnumbered by I forget how many, outrageous odds. And he flies off to go get help. And I'm just sort of like, okay, I was expecting Slave 1. But to see him come out with the Rancor, it's just like, okay. They're really starting to speak to like the diehard people that love Mandalorian aspect because of the mythosaur. And it was epic. I absolutely loved it. I know some people they don't want to see a second season because they thought that they kind of played him out to be, I guess, too mellow. Not, like I said, not what everybody had expected it was going to be. But I think they did good. I think they left room where they can do some awesome stuff for a season 2. So I'm curious to see what they do.
I enjoyed it.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, I loved it. And the Luke stuff. And it's crazy how the de-aging technology is working. And
oh my God. Yeah, they've made it. They had Luke looking like he did at Return of the Jedi.
And Grogu is just the most adorable thing ever.
Yes.
I
was really surprised, like, with the X-Wing scene and stuff. Like, I did not see that coming at all. I did not expect that to go down the way it did.
Yeah.
I really didn't. But now here, all right, while we're okay, because now you got my nerdiness going.
I was gonna mention it, but go ahead.
For like out of the next series coming up, because we have Obi-Wan coming up. I think that comes out in May. I think that should be the next series we get. You have Obi-Wan, you have The Mandalorian season 3, you have Ahsoka coming out this year. I don't know where Mandalorian and Ahsoka lay as far as the release dates. And I think that's because I think we get 4 series this year. I think it's Fett, Mando, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan. So out of the 3 that are left, what are you more excited for?
Definitely Obi-Wan.
Okay.
I've been reading some stuff on it, and I won't say spoilers, but it just sounds super crazy.
It does. Like I'm anxious to see Hayden Christensen as Vader again. Okay. Give me 1 second. My daughter came down here to say goodnight to me. I'll be 1 second. Night, baby. Daddy loves you. Oh, Daddy loves you. Now you have to go up with Mama, baby. I know you're not happy. You want to stay down here in the snake room. Night, baby. Daddy loves you. Yeah, you see the snake. You see Xena. Leave it to my daughter. She absolutely loves Xena for whatever reason. And it's probably the one snake that she shouldn't love as much as she does. And Xena doesn't really seem to mind her either. So it's kind of cool. But she just absolutely loves Xena for whatever reason. And every day she has to come down here. We have to open up every tub of the snakes. And yeah, it's just funny. She's going to be my little future helper, I think, here in a couple of years. Oh, while we're slightly off topic, thanks, hon. Love you. Phil, yes, thank you for bringing that up. Everybody, if you are in Pennsylvania or nearby, Phil is organizing the first annual Pennsylvania Breeders' Breakfast. It starts, I think, if I remember correctly, at 9:00 at Shady Maple Smorgasbord. They're in New Holland. So if anybody wants to go, hit Phil up on his Instagram or hit myself up and I'll get in contact with Phil. I did have one person get in contact with me already, Phil. I don't know if they got a hold of you as well. But I did give them your Instagram info. But thank you for bringing that up because I don't want to say I forgot because I was actually talking about that the other day. But thank you for bringing that up because I'm super excited for that. So I think we're April 2nd. Yes, thank you. April 2nd. That's the date, April 2nd. See, completely off my game. I'm telling you what.
Be sure you guys post pics.
Oh, dude, I'm actually gonna. I know we're not. I think we're just. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of footage of it because I think we're trying to get Kai to come as well. I know Phil said he was gonna work on him, so hopefully we get Kai, and I'm anxious to see who all does come because I think it's gonna be awesome. I think it's gonna be really, really, really cool. Just get everybody together, have a good time together, breakfast, sit down, eat, and just talk shop. I think it's gonna be really cool. All right, back to business. Do you? All right, this is slightly off business. Do you since you brought up the Star Wars stuff, Mark? Like, do you collect anything Star Wars, or are you more of are you more into the Marvel stuff? Or are you as big into Star Wars like me? Or
man, I love all of it. Marvel, DC, Star Wars. When I was a kid, I had a bunch of the figures and stuff, but do I have anything right now? No, I don't have anything Star Wars related right now.
So if you saw the price of what those figures are worth right now, you would cry.
Yeah.
I go to some of these Comic Cons, and so I remember I had a Stormtrooper on the card, like an original one. And I opened it. I still actually have it with its gun. But this thing is worth on the card, I think it's worth in the neighborhood of close to $300-500, something like that, 300 to 500.
Yeah.
But some of the original figures, like an original Boba Fett, you're talking thousands. And it's just oh my god, if I could go back in time and just snag up this stuff, because you could find that stuff when I was a kid, $20. Nobody really wanted it at the time. But now it's just boom. It's crazy.
Pokemon cards, figures.
Oh, that's one thing I'm going to bring up with Billy, because Billy loves Pokemon. And I remember back in the day when Pokemon cards first came out, I had the original Charizard. I had every single card there was, every foil. I had even the promos, and they had a local Pokemon league around where I was at, and they had their own special edition cards for that, and I had everything. And I don't know what happened to it all. But hearing Billy talk about how much some of these Pokemon cards are worth, it's oh my god, I had that stuff.
Yeah.
No. Think of all the snakes I could buy now.
Yep, man.
All right. Did we get into what's one project you want to get into in the next couple of years? We did. That was our last one, I think. All right. How do you feed your collection? I know you just released a video today. So what's your thoughts? I mean, who else have you used other than Cold Blooded Cafe?
I've used Lane Labs, which is in California. And I saw on Adam's channel that Cold Blooded Cafe has at $30 shipping. So I thought I did all the math and came out a little bit cheaper than Lane Labs. So I went with them this time. And there's actually a local breeder that I need to try also, called Supreme Exotic Feed. And actually some guy I went with the high school with actually owns that business. So once this supply runs out, I'll be giving Supreme Exotic Feed a try, and maybe that'll be my last supplier other than what I produce myself. So I do produce some rats myself too, and I feed the ones that don't take frozen food with the ones that I produce.
Okay. See, I have one of mine that I produce that is going to be hitting Morph Market here soon. So anybody that's in the market for a leopard cinnamon het desert ghost male, I have one that's going to be hitting Morph Market really soon. So be on the lookout for it. But he's stuck on live. He was only eating live mouse hoppers, which was just aggravating because I didn't want a mouser. Because I think a mouser would be harder to sell, compared to something that's actually at least eating live rats. Got him switched over to live rats. And he smashes live rat pups now, no problem. But now I'm trying to get him switched over to the frozen thawed, and he's just not having it. Like he knows it. Like you can tell he wants it, but he's like, nah, this isn't right. So I have him that's on live, and the Orange Dream Fire clown. She's still on live, and I'm hoping I can get her switched over because live rats. I mean, I have to go to a pet shop to get them just because it makes sense instead of bugging my breeder. That's 20 minutes away. I just go, 10 minutes up the road. But for even like a live rat pup, it's like $3.
Yeah.
And it's just like, over time, I mean, as she gets bigger, if I can't get her switched over, that's going to become like a pain in the neck. So I'm trying everything I can to get her switched over for now. But I guess if I start doing my own rats this year, I won't really care. It'll just be here you go. Have at it.
So you have your own supplier that provides frozen for you?
I do, yeah. He's actually, like I said, he's about 20 minutes away. It's Rick from RKZ Rodents. Very cool guy. If anybody is in local, close to me, or within reasonable distance to Leola area here in Lancaster County, hit me up. I'll give you his information. He has really nice rats. My snakes love everything that he's produced for me. And his prices are really, really good. Like I might be spending, I don't even think it's a buck a rat pup, in all honesty. Really I think it is. I mean, it's probably close to a buck a rat pup, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I get it. I'm easy to work with. I always give him, like, when I call him up, it's not like, hey, I need it like now. I call him up 2 weeks ahead of time because he's busy. He works a normal 9-to-5 job as well, plus breeds snakes and does rats. So I just give him like 2 weeks heads up and say, hey, this is what I need for my order. He goes, he's always like, well, when do you need it? But I was like, just let me know when it's ready. It's like, whenever you have it ready is when I'll come get it. So maybe he gives me a little bit better pricing. I don't know. But he's a great guy to work with and great rodents. But there again, if I can produce my own stuff, since I do have the room to do it, I'm just going to have to make the time to do it. But it's just, I mean, if that'll gives me that money that I can go and sink it back into the snakes. Plus gives me more revenue to put into the snakes as well by selling off the rats that I don't need. Let's see here. And Steven, I did see your message come through here with the pictures. I'll look at that then after the stream's over to look at that. But I'm sure, actually, you know what? Here, I'll show it to everybody. I'll pull it up here quick. So I'm sure people probably want to see it. Oh, wow. Good God, that thing glows. Okay. Let me figure out how to do this here. Watch, it won't come through, will it? There we go.
Wow.
That is nuts. Wow. I mean, that is like fluorescent orange. I think, Steven, I've said that, I don't know if anybody watched my Insane Boa video, but my buddy Mike produced what's called a Sun Dragon. I forget exactly all the boa genetics that are involved in making it. But the thing is like literally fluorescent red or like a fluorescent orange. And I said that if there was a way to find that in a ball python, I would get into it. And I think Steven just showed me the exact thing I needed to see. So thanks, Steven. You're making me get into another project and spend more money now. That is just nuts. Wow.
I guess I'm getting that het sunset girl, Steven. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't get a birthday present from him yet, did you, Mark? So he technically still owes you, and there's late fees now. And my birthday just passed, so now there's late fees on that too. Darn, Steven, you're behind, brother. That's almost a visual. But no, that is stunning. Wow. Oh, geez. That's, yeah. I did not expect. I thought it would maybe be close to that, but I didn't expect that. That was That was nuts. Okay, back on how you feed your collection and stuff. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off track. But with like, what was your thoughts on what you got from Cold Blooded Cafe? Because I think I've gotten from Perfect Prey. I don't think I've ever ordered from Cold Blooded Cafe. With Perfect Prey, I think that like they always seems like you didn't get as much, but they were packed very, very nice. And like they weren't really stuck together. They were easy to pull apart and separate. There's another company, Rodent Pro. I used Rodent Pro as well, where it seemed like you got more, but they weren't packed nearly as nice. But both of them had good quality rats. Have you ever used any of those other suppliers, Mark? Or
I haven't.
okay.
I know with these ones from Cold Blooded Cafe, they were a little bit smaller than I thought they would be, but they were packaged well. They were clean, and I had no problem with them.
And I'm assuming the snakes probably gobbled them all up.
Yeah. The thing is with these frozen rats, man, they are $3 and up per rat.
Yeah.
And the prices are just nuts right now. But,
well, let me ask you this. How often do you feed your snakes? Are you once a week or are you once every 2?
I do the females once a week and the males every 2 weeks.
Okay. I was gonna say because after watching a podcast with Billy and Dr. Warren Booth, Dr. Warren Booth went over kind of like what goes on in a snake's metabolism, and like during the whole digestion process and everything, and basically he was telling us that feeding every week is basically like you're almost overfeeding to an extent. And I didn't think about it. Sorry. But as he explained it, because like the heart enlarges and the plasma gets thicker, so their blood thickens up. I mean, like their bodies go through a whole bunch of stress. And then on top of it, until they actually fully digest that rat, like they don't get it fully digested within a week's time. And so it actually is better for them to do every other week. Plus, it allows them to make up more, like make use more of what they've eaten, and you don't get as much waste. Which after watching that podcast, I switched over, and the feeding responses are great, and they look healthier than ever. I mean, like they're not fat looking; they're nice, chunky. They're exactly how they should be. Sorry, wow. And like it just seems like it almost made it seem like it got to the point where it's like, you know what was I thinking? Because I was basically cramming all this food into them and not really getting much more of a benefit, actually making more work for myself because they were going to the bathroom more, and now they go to the bathroom less. My food bill has been cut in half. So it might be something to look into. I mean, with switching your girls over. I mean, granted, now if they're going through getting ready for breeding and they're on that ravenous kick or whatever, I mean, I can't say as I'd blame you, but it might be something to look into a little bit. Because I know, like I said, it opened my eyes just to learn, what goes on in their body. And when I have Billy on, I'm actually planning on bringing that up because he explains it better than I do. But yeah, it was a big eye opener as to what all goes on in a snake's body.
That's good advice, man. I'd like to save some money on those rats. Maybe I'll start my females that I'm planning on breeding next year on a 2-week schedule and see how that goes. How about the hatchlings? What do you feed them? Is that
up until I'll feed my hatchlings every week until they hit 200 grams. After they hit that 200 grams, I feel like they're chunky enough and they've got, decent body condition by that point to where they go on the same adult schedule every other week. Plus, they've got that food response, kicked in by that point. And all of mine have been doing great. I actually keep in touch with one of the guys that bought my GHI banana Yeah, pastel GHI banana girl. Guy bought one of my hatchlings, and man, I apologize. And he was feeding her every week, and he sent me a message the other day saying that she was at 500 grams, and I'm thinking it's like, okay, wow, she's really growing quick. And I went and weighed one of her clutch mates. Now remember, I'm feeding every other week. There was roughly about 100-gram difference between the two, and you figure I'm putting in half the amount of food, and I'm thinking, out of that 100-gram difference, how much is that is still the rat from previous, and how much of that is actual waste just that the snake's holding on to?
It's true.
There's probably only really, I don't know how much a good healthy poop in a snake is. Maybe 25 grams, something like that, possibly. So I kind of don't. I kind of have to agree with Billy on how it kind of makes sense to go that route. And my hatchlings, I mean, they're all chunky looking. I mean, they definitely look good.
I'm going to take your advice on this. It sounds, makes sense.
You explore your scientific side. Do an experiment. Have a female, like after they lay, do an experiment with one you feed every week, and then, like you said, have ones that you feed every other week, and see which is fine. That might be a good scientific experiment to try.
That's a good one.
Let me see here. There's some big conversations going on here in the chat, and
something about a giveaway.
Yeah, I saw something about a giveaway. I will touch base on a giveaway here at some point here, but Stephen and Courtney say, I don't know if they're talking about us. I'm assuming that it's us. How close are you guys to 1,000 subs? Morgan, I think now I was being nosy going around looking around at, I forget your follower count on Instagram, but you and I are like neck and neck with subs on YouTube. I think you're like you're all but like 480, I think, aren't you?
473, I think, last I checked.
Okay. And I think when I looked before I got on, I think I hit 485, which I think is actually a lot of thank you to Mark for giving his students extra credit for subbing and giving them some incentive to hop on here and hopefully learn some stuff if they're into snakes and everything. Which I think that's really cool, though, that you have students that are that kind and generous and into the stuff that you're into as well.
But once you get Billy on, your subs are going to
go. Well, see, it would be neat if it did that, but at the same token, it's just neat that Billy even said yes. So even if my sub count doesn't skyrocket, my self-esteem has skyrocketed beyond belief. So, I mean, that I can't put a price on that. It definitely made me feel good. Made me feel like, because I figure, actually, Holly, I think, is the one that told me this. It was either Jeremy or Holly from Snakes for the Memories. They told me, is like, think about it. Billy wouldn't come on if he hasn't at least seen something or watched any of your stuff. He's seen something, or he wouldn't come on to a show and waste his time if he didn't think it was worth it. So for all that's worth, I appreciate it.
I could see you on the same path as Adam from Proper Royals. Back when he started his lives, he started off with guys like me, and then eventually he's got Tony Thomas next week. So
I was gonna say, Adam having me come on his show is, I think, what actually gave me the bug. I mean, because if you would have told me I was going to be if you would have told me I'd be on YouTube a year ago, I would have laughed at you. If you would have told me I'd be having a live, I really would have laughed. And here we are, and it's probably a lot of because of Adam. I mean, I was nervous as anything to get on his show. And when I got on, it's like, this isn't bad. Like, I can screw up. Hey, it's alive. It's okay if I screw up. Everybody expects you to screw up at some point. But it was just so easy because it's not like you're in front of everybody, but at the same token, you're not. So the pressure's, slightly off. But I enjoy doing these. I really do. It gets me out of, it's like Gershon says, like with the introvert extrovert thing, I would consider myself more of an introvert until I warm up to people. And then I become more of the happy, bubbly extrovert type of personality. So this helps get me out of that, my comfort zone. And I look at it as it gets me ready for like going to shows. Because there you have to be able to talk to people, and I think this is getting me ready for that step of my journey. We have Benjamin that just came in. What is up? Thanks for tuning in, dude. All right, let's see here. Where are we at? All right. What is your goal as a breeder, Mark? Like, where do you see yourself in 5-10 years with this? Yeah.
Now, originally, I saw this as a retirement thing. I've started to think about retirement from teaching, and I'll be 30 years into teaching in about 8 years. I figure, if I build this up, by the time I retire, this will be like a full-fledged business, and I could go from there. And so that was my initial goal with that, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. I think I'll stick out the 8 years teaching and just build up my collection.
See, that's not a bad plan, though. And the thing is, you enjoy what you're doing. I assume anyway. It seems like you enjoy teaching. So I think that's a smart plan. And then, it gives you time to get your like you said, get your collection built up, and lets you get yourself into a point where this essentially is going to become a very nice supplemental income. And I don't know, like, do teachers get like pensions after you retire?
Yeah, we do. And
Okay.
The more time you put in, so the 30 years will get me that full pension. And the snakes are just gravy on top of that.
See, I was gonna say that there, Blue Ridge. I'm thinking that they're a teacher as well, because they said they don't see themselves making it that long. LOL. I don't know how, like, what. I know you said teenagers, that you teach teenagers. What age group exactly? Like, what grades?
So this is the high school level. Chemistry is a 10th grade class. Biology is a 9th grade class, but you do have a mixture of all different classes in it. But yeah.
So you're, I was gonna say you're, oh God, I remember. Oh man. I pity you. I'm sure some days that is just like a zoo. I mean, all the teenage hormones getting in the way of clear thought processes, and I wouldn't be able to do it. I give you props.
I tell you what, after the pandemic, it's just different, and there's just something different. And there's a lot of teachers that are just going crazy right now, and we'll see.
Like what do you mean different? Like,
the kids they're kind of tuned out, it seems, and it's a lot of it is they're on their phones 24/7, and if you try to get them away, it ends up being a big fight and everything. But I think as teachers, we just got to adapt with the times, and that's why I try to include them with my videos. I have a teacher Instagram and stuff like that, and just gotta roll with the times.
I say that. See, that's one thing though. I applaud you on that though, because too many times I think in any profession, especially where I work, if you make a suggestion about doing something differently, you get we've done it that way for 75 years. It's like, well, okay, but 75 years ago, you didn't have what you have today. So, you kind of have to adapt and, like you said, change and alter with the times. And dude, I applaud you for, taking that step, because I'm sure things are probably going, I mean, it may be a little bit hectic, but it's probably going a lot smoother for you doing that than the teacher that's trying to do it the way that they've done it for 10 or 20 years before that.
Yeah, a good portion of my class right now, we're doing a garden. And so we're spending like half the time outside doing the
Oh, okay.
garden. That's allowing us to take our masks off and breathe a little easier. And I'm just hoping to make life a little bit easier because it's been crazy the past couple of years for all of us, and with
It has.
teenagers and them having to deal with so many other issues. School
It
shouldn't be
is.
something that they should worry about.
I'm ready. Like I'm sure everybody will probably agree with this. I'm ready for normal again. Like I would give anything to go back to 2019 before all this stuff ever happened. Like I would just love to see that come again to where it's just like this whole thing never happened. We can just pretend it was a bad dream and go back to normal. I liked normal. Let's see here. Blue Ridge said that they teach elementary music. Even the little kids have changed their attitude since the pandemic. I believe that. I noticed, like with my son, he'll be 15 here this year, and just even within a couple of years, with the 2 years we've been dealing with this mess, that I even see a change in him, and I'm trying to figure out because like when I was a kid, during times like we had said before, times have really changed. You went over to a friend's house and you played video games, you hung out, you did stupid stuff. Him, I always say, it's like, dude, do you want to go out over, do you want to have a friend over? You want to go to a friend's house? No, I'm okay. And he just kind of stays up in his room, might get on his computer. And it's just, it's like, is it the way teenagers are now? Is it this day and age? Or is it something with how everything's been going on that he just kind of, I don't know, exiles himself maybe? It's
That's
hard to read teenagers, especially with everything going on.
that's a perfect description of the teenagers of today. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, and it's funny. Like, I've been laid off here for about a month, and he comes home, and if I, wherever I'm at, he finds me, and first words out of his mouth is, "What are we having for supper?" It's just like, "Hi, how are you doing too, Dom?" And then you tell him what he's had, and you don't see him until you holler for him for mealtime. Like he doesn't really sit around and talk, chat with you or anything. It's like they kind of just, I don't know. Maybe it's just a teenager thing. Maybe I'm forgetting something from being a teen, and yeah, I don't know. I guess teenagers will be teenagers, maybe. All right, let's see. Gershon made a fun. I gotta chuckle out of this one. He can get me. Oh wait, that wasn't it. Hold on, wait, where was it? Gershon made a funny. Oh, here we go. There we go. You should go at 2 subs when I come on. That's the heat he brings. Gershon, you pack more heat than that, brother. You're at least 3 subs. Oh man. All right. All right. How about tips? Like for any I want to do since you have a really good YouTube channel as well, Mark. I would like. Do you have any tips for people starting and doing YouTube? And do you have any tips for people that are either breeding or want to think about breeding? So we're going to do a 2-part tip here.
Yeah, for YouTube, I think Gershon gives the best tip on that, where one video, just go with your females, go with your males. But the bottom line is just do it. And the YouTube community, as far as content, I feel a connection with you guys, everyone who does videos. And I think if you're doing YouTube videos, you're promoting the hobby and the industry, and hopefully in a positive way. And I know there's a movement going on right now to try to eliminate the live feedings and stuff like that. And I've been guilty of that too. I've done live feedings on some of my videos. So I would say just keep the content simple and share with us your snakes. And don't try to go for the live feedings just to get your subs up. And no diss to anyone who does that, but yeah, just do it. It's super easy. Just use your phone and record, submit. That's it.
And I think another thing too that's important is like because I was scared to death to start my YouTube channel. My buddy too that I had on, which was my first guest. I mean, he pushed me and he kept saying, "Dude, you got to do it. You got to do it. You know, you've got a niche here you can really go with because you just got to do it." And I told him, "It's like, dude, it's like I'm gonna, I'm gonna, my videos are gonna be terrible." And looking back, where I'm at now, almost it'll be a year in May, I think, is when I actually started posting videos. So looking back now, almost a year into it, and I watched those first videos, it's like, wow, they were terrible. Like they were legit. I mean, like I was so eager to do videos down here in the snake room. I didn't even have proper lighting in here. I looked like Michael Myers standing in like the corner. All you see is this black silhouette type of deal. And it's like, I look at that and I look at where I'm at now. And it's like, I have come leaps and bounds from where I was started. And I think that's one thing everybody's got to remember is your first videos are, I mean, after a year of being into it, you're going to look back and you're going to think, wow, what was I thinking? That was terrible. But it's a stepping stone. It's like anything. I mean, you don't start off great right off the bat. And if you do, you got a special system then that we all need to have. But I mean, if you're not improving and stuff, you know, I don't know how else to stress it that you may start off and thinking that your content isn't great and you may start off slow on your sub count. Just do it because you like to do it. And I've learned like I absolutely love making videos. I don't know about you,
Yes.
but I love making the content. I love showing and sharing people my journey. And if anything else, it serves as like a record keeping tool too. Because I can look back and you can see that, when I cut this clutch, because I always show also the parents of the clutch during the video. So I can look back and I can see who the parents were. And, people that are buying the babies can look back. They can see the parents if they're questioning, well, was the pairing really an exantic to a, bumblebee clown or whatever it is. So it's good record keeping as well. Plus it promotes your stuff. So, but those are great tips though, Mark. Now, how about people get more thinking about breeding or getting into breeding?
Yeah, I would say just do a ton of research prior to getting what you want. And of course, get what you want, what you like, and know that your taste will change over time. So you can't go wrong with the recessive females. So start off with some recessive females and don't forget those males. Like I started off female heavy, and then come this season, I only had one male ready, and my other males, they were pretty good size and everything, but they were still young and just did not get the rope. So you might want to start with an older male maybe, and yeah, just start with those recessive females and go from there.
Yeah, that's one thing. Looking back last season, granted, I couldn't have really done it like how I'm doing it this season because my Xanthic girl got my Bumblebee Clown. So I wouldn't have been able to do the Desert Ghost route. But I wish I would have definitely paired like my Bumblebee Clown to my leopard, my pewter leopard girl to get that, those het clowns raising up. But then at the same token, I paired my DG to that. So either way, I guess I really couldn't have changed it. But it's, I think thinking about your recessive projects, and Phil and Jeff and Angie have also helped me with that this year because I was originally going to do my leopard lesser spot nose to my Xanthic female. And I had been thinking about, doing the double recessive thing again with my Xanthic and going with the Desert Ghost Xanthic. And after them kind of giving me that, little nudge that I needed saying, no, you should really do that because of you got 2 years waiting for it to grow up. It's just like, you're right. And sometimes you have to think about, you can't just think 1 or 2 years ahead. You got to think multiple years out ahead. And I think that's something that is very important for everyone to think about. Is like you said, your recessive females, because they do take that extra time.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see here. We got a whole bunch of comments. I want to thank everybody that is in the chat for staying with us. We still have 15 people and we're almost 2 hours into it. That is just fantastic. If you haven't already, everybody hit that like button. And if you're new, which everybody I'm seeing in the chat is not a new face, and they're all everybody that's just very I don't know the right word, reliable, dependable, family. I mean, I appreciate every one of you. But if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We've got a whole bunch of comments going on here. Angie and Jeff say hats off to all teachers. Not only do you teach our youth, but now, you guys are basically parenting them as well. That's very well put, Jeff and Angie. Very well put. Teaching is not an easy job, in my opinion, and I don't think you can pay me enough to do what you do, Mark. I really don't. I don't think I have the patience for it.
Let me add that for as far as YouTube advice, watch as many different YouTube creators as possible. Like looking at everybody in the chat here. I know Chip has this awesome sign. That's the first thing you notice with his videos is
it is
awesome sign that he has. It's like, I got to get me one of those. So Chip, wherever you got that sign, let us know. Leviathan came out the gate like banging. I was like, man, these guys got this professional video going and everything.
They do. Steven's their video quality. It's just like it's like it's professional. That's the only way to put it. It's very, and I like on how as he's like it's not just solely on him. Like he can they do a lot of editing work as far as they'll put in him holding the snake while he's talking. I mean, it's just very well done. It keeps you in you keep watching. It keeps your interest. Because I know for my videos, and Steven, you can chime in here, but my videos that go 20, 30 minutes, you start off strong, and then I'm gonna say maybe 5 minutes in, it's just someone just chopped it off right there, and your attendance just drops. But I feel even though some of their videos are long, I can't help but just watch because you're always seeing something new. It's not just the same thing, and they're changing it up, and it's amazing quality, and I love it. And they did an amazing series, and it was just mind blowing. It gave me so many different things that I didn't think of or that I should think more of. So
yeah, they're awesome.
It is that the whole marketing aspect. I learned so much from it. Absolutely amazing.
Also,
that you're right with Chip's sign thing. It's the first thing you notice. I mean, I want it, like you said, I want a sign.
Also with Celtic Balls, you guys are going to be my next YouTube spotlight. I meant to do it on this Sunday, but I just decided to put out a video quickly. So next week, you guys will be my YouTube spotlight of the week.
Ooh, Jeff and Angie, there you go. Jeff and Angie are great folk. I love them. Super, super supportive, and they're always there for everybody. Absolutely love you guys. And the fact that they sent me that message asking me, they were worried that if they were going to miss my live, it felt so good. It made me feel loved. Since we're talking about marketing and stuff slightly, I have actually gone and designed some Warful Morse shirts. So at some point I will be posting pictures, and I'm trying to get enough people that will actually buy them to help bring the price of them down, because right now I think it's sitting at $34 a t-shirt, and I forget what the sweatshirts are at, but I'll be posting pictures probably on Instagram, something like that, and hopefully we can get enough people that want some, and lower the price. I fear also at some point I'll probably do like a free raffle for X amount of subs and go do something like that, like a nice little free giveaway. Then I also figure on top of that, like some of the higher dollar snakes, once I start making, the stuff that's closer to $1,000 or so, everybody that purchases one of those snakes will actually get a shirt of their size sent to them, as kind of a thank you. So that's where I'm at with that. I think that was a really nice, a neat thing that I've going on. I've tried a couple different designs, and I was doing a 2-color design to get that glow around the circle of the logo. But every place I tried, it says it's like a brown color, and I'm just afraid to do the 2-color now because I don't want it to look brown around the edge. So I think I'm just going to do the single color on it. But anyway, so I do have that in the works. So I'll be posting pictures of that. So when I do that, if anybody wants one, just hit me up on Instagram and I'll put you on the list. I already know I have a couple people that are wanting one, so I already have you marked down. So we'll get on that. That actually wraps up all my lists, Mark. Is there anything you want to talk about, brother?
I already brought up the Star Wars stuff, so that's what I really wanted to talk about. Question about your carpets. When are you expecting your first clutch on those?
I'm expecting. I'm gonna pick Riley's brain on this because I don't know if feeding Xena, since she's on mice, how much that's gonna throw her off. As far as they always say, like 4 years is when you can start breeding them. Well, she's 3. She's 3 years old now. So next year, technically, I should be able to breed her. But I see all these pictures of these guys that have these decent sized carpets, and it's like, is Xena really undersized, or is she just smaller because all she wants to do is eat mice? But I'm hoping anyway, to answer your question, that next year I'll be able to breed her. So fingers crossed. Hopefully next year I'll have my first clutch of carpets, and everyone can see me pull a carpet clutch and get bit all the kingdom come. Actually, speaking of Xena, let me see. There's a pretty girl right there. She's actually out just chilling.
Awesome. I love the colors.
She's amazing looking. She's one of those snakes. I look at her and my breath just gets taken away every time.
How many clutches are you expecting this year from your ball pythons?
I have 5 pairings going. I have my GHI Mojave paired to my lesser platinum girl, which she's got decent sized follicles. So I'm hoping she goes because she did not go last season. And then I have my DG paired to my Xanthic girl, my DG paired to my Killer Bee, and then my Banana that's paired to my Bumblebee Clown. So hopefully, oh wait, I'm missing one. And then my Pewter Leopard paired to my Bumblebee Clown as well. So those are my 5. Now, none of them are acting normal at all. None of them are cool seeking. Even the one that my lesser platinum that's actually got follicles decent size, like I'm gonna say they're probably about a little bit bigger than marbles, like they're big marbles. And she's not even cool seeking at all. And the tub temps are probably right around 88. So I don't know if that's just cool enough for her and she's fine with that. But none of them are cool seeking, bull wrapping, none of that stuff. But they're locking like crazy. And the one thing that actually is going, I guess, kind of in my favor, my Xanthic girl, she's now like she'll strike the rat, she'll wrap it, but then she lets it lay. Like she won't even try eating it now. So that to me is telling me she's got the follicles on her mind, but she's just not doing the cool seeking thing yet. So I don't know. I need an ultrasound. I've come to that conclusion. I need an ultrasound because I hate this guessing game.
Yeah. I just had a female refuse for the first time last night too, so hopefully that's
Oh,
good.
okay. But see, that's like it always like some every once in a while my girls will refuse, but I've never had one strike it, coil it, go through all that work, and then just drop it. That's a whole new thing for me, especially for that female. So I'm hoping that that's a good sign. But have yours been cool seeking though? Like, what are your tub temps and compared to everything?
I keep my hotspot at 90, and then my room temp is just ambient, around 75 or so.
Okay.
And I've had that same one that just refused. She was cool seeking previously, so
Okay.
putting that
See,
all together.
it
Oh,
baffles me because it goes against everything that that we know basically. Because by all rights, all of them should be cool seeking, especially compared to last season. They were all cool seeking by this point. But I mean, I guess yeah, they were all cool seeking because they were getting close to some of them were getting close to ovulation by now. Yeah, because I had first two clutches hatched July 5th. So that would have been, May, I would have been pulling clutches. So we're getting kind of close to that point where, they would have been getting that ovulation stage. And the two that went laid first last year don't have follicles that big that I'm feeling. So I don't know. I have my fingers crossed. At this point, I'm just kind of along for the ride. I'm just going to keep doing my pairings every month and hopefully something goes. And hopefully I get an ultrasound this year so next year goes smoother.
so you're pretty good at palpating then?
I don't want to say I'm really good at it. Once they get to a certain size, I can definitely feel that they're there. But when they're at like that, you know how some people can feel them at, they're like, oh yeah, they're like a pea size. Well, I feel so much inside that snake, I couldn't tell, I couldn't pick a pea out of what I'm feeling. But using the paper towel on them, like if you wrap them with the paper towel and feel up in there, and Sal from Gomez Polythons actually put a video out on this. A lot of people always say, you kind of put your fingers up in the cavity of their body a little bit and let them slide through. He was saying about you actually using like your full finger and just kind of like squeezing. And that way you get the full length of the full, width of their belly that you're feeling and not just a certain spot of their cavity. Because I guess in theory, you could push those follicles one side or the other. So that was a really new method. I never really thought of using the full finger. So I tried that, and I could feel the ones on my lesser girl, no problem still. But what I thought I was feeling on the other ones, I couldn't feel that. So maybe I just don't have the technique down doing it the full finger, but I mean, I think I could feel the stuff that's more pea size by feeling up in the cavity some. But I don't know. I'm by no means an expert at it. I still have a lot to learn. But once they start getting that marble size and you feel that repeated bump, 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 that's not normal. So you're feeling something going on.
Right.
But yeah, have you tried palpating at all, or how do you do it?
I do palpate, and I swear I feel something. I'm not 100% on it, but yeah, I give it a try, and I think I feel something, but I'm not 100% on it.
Now, do you do the paper towel thing, or do you do it just freehanding it, just feeling it on the scales?
I do it freehanding with my fingers in the cavity, like you mentioned earlier. But I'll check out Sal's video. I did see it pop up on my feed. So
yeah, that was a really good video, and he was even saying like it looks really uncomfortable how he did it, but even using your thumb, and that was. I thought about trying that, but if you watch him do it, I mean, he's like contorted like this, and it just, or I guess he was like, I guess I don't know. It just seemed like it could be maybe a little bit more difficult. But he definitely, I mean, he knows his stuff. I mean, I only ever thought about, being up at the cavity part. I never thought of, the using your whole hand, your whole finger, or your thumb. Let's see here.
what's up, Patrick?
Yeah. By the way, Patrick, thank you for tuning in, brother. Appreciate you coming in. Angie and Jeff said that they tried his technique tonight. Angie could feel all of our girls. Now, which technique did you do, Jeff? Did you do like the full finger thing or the thumb? Just kind of curious as to which one you get, or maybe you tried both. I almost have want to try the thumb thing, but I don't. He was the kind of his racks are like full height, so he could actually do it pretty easy. My racks are still low. Chip says he's got to go. Chip, take it easy, dude. I appreciate the support and you coming in. Thank you. See what Jeff says here as far as which method they tried. Does anybody have any questions for Mark? Okay, the thumb looked too awkward. Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing, that the thumb looked a little awkward too, but I think if you have the follicles at a decent, because for like a video purpose, when you're watching his video, using the full finger, I mean, you could see his finger slide off of every follicle. So that was the neat part about using the full finger. I don't know if you'll see that if you were to video somebody, being up in the body cavity. So that was a neat aspect of seeing it done with the full finger.
How are you?
I guess it kind of is Blue Ridge. Oh my goodness. Anyway, what were you gonna say, Mark?
How are you on popping adults or sub-adults?
All right. Popping is iffy with me. Hatchlings, no problem. I can pop a hatchling, and I'm very confident in what I see with a hatchling. After they get some size to them, and they hit like that 300 gram mark, like that 300 to 400 gram mark, it seems like all of a sudden something just goes wrong, and I can't get them to pop.
Same.
And it's like I'm afraid to do too much because they're still so little, and like I'm just afraid to put too much force into it. So it's like, okay, well, I know what you were, because I kind of practice off of them, I guess is the right way to, So because I want to get better at it, just for if I'm out at a show or something and I need to pop something, I can do it. As far as like if you start getting into the more what I would consider like a sub-adult, like your yearlings and stuff like that, I mean, it's a 50-50 toss-up. My full adult males, some of those I can get to pop religiously anytime I try. But then it always seems like they're like one day if I just say, I'm just gonna go pop some sperm plugs out to help get one of the other males fired up. You know what I mean? For doing the sperm plug thing on the female's back, and I won't be able to get any hemipenes to pop. I'll get the plugs, but I can't get the hemipenes to pop out. So I don't know. If it's not a hatchling, it's a 50-50 toss-up for me. And I've watched all these videos on how to do it, and it just seems like, because they talk about there's a pocket there. They're like, all you have to do is just squeeze here and they just pop out. And I'm there, it's like, there's no freaking pocket here.
Like Celtic just mentioned Billy, he just says, burp, burp, and
Yeah.
you pop out like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you're right. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know. It's, how are you with it? Because I mean, I guess I kind of struggle with it.
Yeah, you know what? Every time I've tried with anything 500 grams above, I can't get nothing out. But yeah, the hatchlings are super easy. But I think I just need to practice it.
Yeah.
People make it easy.
Well, I think the other thing is too is like Celtic, says Billy basically has his train. But we also got to remember some of these people have been doing it for years and years and years. And I'm sure they were probably at a point where they're like, what the heck's going on here? Here, Blue Ridge says, sorry, guys, I taught middle school for a while. Now I'm a 30-year-old woman with a sense of humor. Well, see, everybody needs that, dude, Blue Ridge. Everybody needs that. Because in all honesty, I didn't think about it until you said something about it. It's like, oh, shoot, okay. I see. I could see it. I could see it. Some of my friends would have chimed in on that one though too. So here's a new one. This is a new face, Creative Genetics. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you're enjoying the show. Gershon says practice makes perfect. That is, or practice makes perfect. I filled in the blank. But that is true. And the thing is, how much can you practice until I'm always afraid of hurting them. Like I don't want to practice too much. So I don't know. And I only have so many males because I held back, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I held back 4 males this year. Everything else was female. So, yeah, the clutch you had is your first clutch, right? Or have you've produced another clutch?
I've produced clutch when I was in my previous stage. So in 2012, I produced 2 clutches, and 2014 another 2. Okay. And last year was my first time back, and I have a clutch in the incubator right now.
Now, out of this clutch you have right now, what are you hoping to keep out of it? As far as are you going to go for like a 1.2 ratio to keep, or do you not? Or you just kind of see what the odds gods throw at you and go from there?
Well, I paired leopard double het VPI xanthic puzzle to vanilla cream or ember cream 100% het hypo. So they'll all be triple het hypo VPI puzzle. So I'm just going to hold back the females and hope some of them have that wacky het puzzle pattern to them and go from there.
Okay. And that's one thing looking back at it, if I could do it differently, my xanthic clown clutch, I kept my spider that was double het, and it is the female ones anyway. I kept the spider double het female and my crazy looking pastel double het. I kept those 2, but then I had 3 females that were normals, but they were double het, and I sold them. And looking back at it now, that was an idiot fool move to do, because I'm there thinking that I kept the bumblebee male that's double het to pair to them, and granted, not gonna do the spider thing. I'm doing something else with the spider double het, but now it's I'm basically sitting on 1 female that can give me what I'm trying to hit. And that was just an idiot fool move to make, and now I'm really regretting it. But now it's, so if you're going to keep every female that you're producing, I think that's smart. Someone can correct me on that, but I think that's smart.
Of course, I might end up with 6 males. Who knows?
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. I hope you don't. I hope you don't, Mark. Because my Desert Ghost clutch that I got, every clutch I had this year was female heavy, and my Desert Ghost clutch was male heavy. I had 3 males and 2 females out of it. So I guess it wasn't bad. I can't really complain because of how good I did on the odds of the other clutches. I mean, my banana clutch was all females. Everything was all female. It was amazing. But it just, yeah. I hope you hit a nice ratio.
Hopefully.
Oh wait, here. Red bottom python showed a good idea on palpating. She said to practice on a male. That's actually, you know what? I thought of that. I have thought of that just because the anatomy is gonna be the same inside there. That is a good thought. That is smart, creative. Thank you for throwing that out there. I mean, I've had that thought, but I've never executed that thought. But having someone else say it makes
good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Bluer says, when I first learned, I popped one named Athena, and he is now named Apollo. I had my leopard lesser spot nose was supposed to be a female, so we named it Lacey because it went with the leopard, leopard lesser, Lacey. It flowed really nice off the tongue. Well, Lacey is now Luke, and we had my Puma, which was supposed to be a female, and ended up being a male. And her name was originally Padme. Well, now now he is Han. So now I have a different Padme because I needed to have that name. But yeah, it's amazing. I always have wanted to keep the names really screwed up to throw people off, but I thought that'll just really screw me up personally. Yes, great. That's very good thinking. Well, it has been it's actually been 2 hours, 15 minutes, Mark. Does anybody else have any questions for us? And we're still sitting at 14 people, which is fantastic, everybody. Thank you so much for the support. Well, I'll give people a couple minutes here to see if they have any more questions. If anybody missed it, our next live on next Sunday is Kai with Lucas Landon Royals. That's the 27th. March 6th, we have Adam from Proper Royals on. On March 13th, we have Kelsey from Kelsey's Constrictors. Here's the slight curveball. On the 19th, which is actually a Saturday, I have Sal from Gomez Pythons coming on. Saturday worked best for him, so we're going to do that. Here, Mark, I'll blow you up so you can show off some snakes while I rattle off this stuff. And there we go. And then on March 27th, we have Jeff and Angie from Celtic Balls going to join us here on the show. And then in April, I didn't throw out the dates on my little cheat sheet here, but in April, we have Gershon coming on from GP Snakes. We have Riley Jimson from Riley's Reptiles. He's a big carpet python guy. I think he does Crebos too. He works in some rosy boa stuff. He's got a couple different things he works with, so really awesome stuff. Really wanted to get him on here just because of especially the carpet python stuff. And then I'm waiting for John Dog from JD Constriction, which works very heavy with TSK Xanthic stuff. I'm waiting for him to pick a date because he agreed to come on the show, so I'm just waiting for him to get back to me with the date. I have Ryan from Smitty's Serpents coming on. He has to pick a date as well. I'm waiting for John to pick his date first. And then the big one, which I'm still super stoked about, is on May 1st, I have Billy from Mutation Creation coming on here, and hopefully it's going to be an amazing show. And I'm going to really pick his brain for everybody, and hopefully everybody joins in and helps pick it. So Billy has that wealth of knowledge that we all can only hope to one day have. And I just saw a question here. Creative says, how long have you been breeding? I know the question was for everybody. Mark, I'll let you go ahead first.
So this is my second go around, and this will be my second year, but I've had 2 years previously. So
okay, and this is my second year breeding as well, so I'm still learning and very much new to the game, but I'm learning something every day, and things are just getting a little bit easier as time goes on. I think it's that maybe you can confirm it or you can disagree as well. Like that first breeding year, it seems like things go kind of smooth, I want to say, but then it's like there's a slight monkey wrench into the second year because they're not exactly. It seems like there's just slightly off par from where they were when they first started. Do you kind of notice that too, Mark? Or
yeah, my second year breeding, my first time through, I actually moved during when I had eggs in the incubator, so I lost 2 clutches. And
okay.
But yeah, the first year, like you said, went really smooth. Second year lost them, so hopefully this year is my second year back. It goes smoothly.
Okay, I hope it does, dude. I'm anxious to see what you produce. Creative says, tell Billy you want to set a new record for the longest reptile alive. Creative, I'll tell you this much. if you watch Billy's lives or even his lives that he does on his Patreon, they go for a while. So I think his longest live on Patreon was basically 3 hours. I mean, there were times where I couldn't sit there for the whole thing and I had to leave, and it would be multiple sessions of me down here in the snake room working or editing a video, and I'd have the live playing in the background just so I got to hear the whole thing. So, I mean, I'll keep Billy on here, and hopefully he'd be up for staying on as long as people are asking questions in the audience. But you know, we'll do our best because Billy's he's got a wealth of knowledge. We just got to try to pick his brain with it.
I know he did a 6-hour live on YouTube once.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that would have been for his My Channel, My Content thing then, correct? Yeah. Or was it okay? That must have been before I started watching his lives. So I don't remember one being that long. Oh wow, that would be forever. But he talks about a whole bunch of random stuff though too. Yeah. And they kind of like they just go everywhere with it.
Can't wait for him to get back.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready to have some Billy lives back. Robson's telling me it's a 24-hour fundraiser stream for USR. Dude, I bet you, I mean, he would probably stay on for as long as you wanted him to if it was something like that. He probably really would. But if nobody else has any questions for us, I think I'm good with calling it a night. How about you, Mark? I guess it's 10:30 here almost. It's a couple hours
7:30
for you yet, but I think we're going to call it a night, everybody. Thank you so much for all the support. And next week, like I said, Kai with Lucas Landon Royals will be here joining us. And don't forget to hit that sub button if you're new. And as always, take it easy. Thank you for the support. Greatly appreciate it. Hit that like button. Mark, thank you so much for coming on, dude. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And if you don't mind, just stay on for a second after I wrap this up. And I want to just say one thing to you yet. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll catch you next time. Later.